in to the Ladies of Culture, the podcast.
Hey everybody, we're here at the table ready to talk about March's outing. We went to the MAF Gallery. I'm Miss Sasha and I'm sitting here with
Michelle.
You got Miss Stacy over here.
And Alessa.
Yeah.
All right, so.
And we are Club of Culture.
Yes, we
Club
are.
of
Club of
Culture.
All right, go for it, Stacey.
Club of Culture!
You don't understand, this girl's busting at the pants. So just let her fly. All right, so today we had an amazing experience, actually. Very unexpected. We went out to... What's that neighborhood called? Why is my brain just...
Parkdale,
exactly. I used to live there. We went to Parkdale, Tyndall Drive.
Avenue, yep.
Tyndall Avenue. Rolled up to this condo, or this building, and we're like, I had reached out to...
Is this where the gallery?
I had reached out to this gentleman called Donovan White a few weeks ago because I was flipping through Instagram and I saw a bunch of images that caught my eye. Why? Because I live in Portland and a lot of the work from this artist from MAF is spray painted on the side of some buildings. Check our website, check our Instagram. I'm going to post those for you. Anyways, that just instantly drew me. I started digging deeper. This guy's so cool. He's got a gallery in his apartment.
So cool.
Like the coolest stuff I've ever seen.
So
My
unexpected.
apartment looks so lame compared to that. It was beautiful.
Yeah,
He
so
turned
unexpected.
his place into a gallery. It's pretty incredible.
Avant-garde art that they're making in his apartment.
Making in the apartment that you can see on the streets of Toronto. And it's incredible that you actually discovered him on Instagram because that's how he discovered the artist that he's representing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Not even just a gallery. It's a gallery, it's a home, it's a studio, it's a sales
Airbnb
space, it's an Airbnb, it's everything. So, yeah, we met this guy, Donovan. He was amazing. He represents an artist by the name of MAF. He's from Russia. He's dope. And they actually have a really amazing story as to how they met. Check it out here.
So I was doing styling, and a friend of mine said to me, "Oh my God, you should check out this photographer's Instagram, blah 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 blah." So we went to it. It was amazing. We private messaged him because we wanted to do a photo shoot with him, but it was 6 months into him coming from Russia to Toronto, so he didn't speak any English. It was the craziest meeting I ever had in my life. Anyway, so we planned a photo shoot. We did this sick shoot, and I became really, really good friends with him. I said to him, why don't we hook up and I'll help you sell your art? And he came here just to meet with me, and literally the second time he came here, he came back with all this art for my house.
How have you found it to kind of transition from being a stylist into like promoting some, this Russian gentleman's art? It's edgy, it's new, it's in your house. Like, what's that transition been like?
You know what? It's super easy,
Okay.
I think, only because my other part-time gig is in the entertainment world. So I host at Everly Nightclub in Maison. I just moved back from Barcelona in September. I was there for 6 months traveling with a DJ.
I heard.
I was tour managing. So just me being in the club, me doing the styling, me being on tour for 6 months and getting to travel the world, I got to meet so many people that are into art.
Cool.
And it kind of works for me. Something new I'm going to try.
I heard that Madrid is like
Amazing.
That's what you told her. You're like, that's where it's happening.
And
We're going to those stupid places.
Yeah,
like New York's done. Like,
Yeah, I know. I miss New York, though.
who doesn't?
Yeah, New York's fun.
So is this the first artist that you've represented?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's totally new for me.
How do you normally go about organizing viewings?
His Instagram, people hit him up on Instagram. People send him direct emails. I meet people all the time. I'm gonna start doing these 6 people dinner parties where I'll move the table right out in here and get it catered.
Nice.
I'm working on that. We're going to do a pop-up show for him. He just needs to do a lot. He needs to like paint stuff.
So you guys met on Instagram, but what was your first actual meeting like?
Our first actual meeting was in Starbucks at Young and Bloor.
Okay.
And he couldn't even. We were literally doing Google Translate while I was talking to him.
I love this city. How cool is your
Yeah,
life?
it was like insane. And I met with him for like 2 hours. I think I sat when I met him the first time, and then we did a photo shoot. And I literally had to bring my Russian friend to translate for me because I wouldn't have lasted all day with him.
Like, did he say why peanuts? Like, did he say what about Charlie Brown and his
No, it's weird, and I don't know how far he's gonna get before him having any legal issues with the
Trademarks,
characters
yeah.
and trademarks. So I have to watch myself too.
So now that you've experienced the ups and downs with this guy, can you see yourself working with other artists? Are you like looking on
I don't
Instagram
know.
for more
Yeah.
people, or
I don't know.
take it to like have a
Someone-
roster?
The same person that suggested to me when I was getting into styling, you should be a stylist, is the same person 10 years or almost 15 years later that came back and said to me, you should be an art curator. So,
That person's a good
Yeah,
totally.
totally.
Good insight.
yeah, like if I find someone that's really cool like this kid, then yeah, sure.
All right, so that was our interview with Donovan. Not so much a formal interview, more of just a hangout as he showed us around the apartment and this amazing artwork from MAF. And I think one of the most amazing things about this whole experience was how there's a story here. We have amongst us in Toronto, we have our own like Banksy, basically.
Pretty much.
Out on the street. You guys see his work all the time, and you don't realize that there's actually a story behind this.
It's true. If any of you guys have ever strolled down Portland Street, and if you haven't, you better. There's this huge graffiti wall of Lucy from Peanuts, and we walk past it all the time. We're like, hey, that's fun. The graffiti folks are constantly cleaning other people's graffiti off of it because people have no damn respect. But it's crazy because you see this all the time. It kind of goes into your back of your mind. Then you realize, wait, this is an actual artist. This is someone who lives amongst us doing this awesome work all over the city, and we had no idea.
And what's nice about artists who are kind of, I love the underground scene where people find real talent. This is where you've gone to school or you did it on your own or you're just some avant-garde genius or you're Basquiat or you're Bob Marley in your small, regular life doing whatever the hell it is you do. And then one day a bunch of people who have some common sense recognize that you have some supreme talent. Whether they're customers because, you bought really cool stuff, we all saw things we wanted to purchase, or you're just an art curator who's like, this is good stuff. Like, that's the thing about art. It's subjective until someone who knows best tells you, oh, this is fan-freaking-tastic.
Totally.
And that's the cool thing about Donovan is that he just came across this artist and was like, I want to manage you. And basically started spreading the word. Now, what's really cool about all this stuff is that this whole underground scene, we'll try and get some pictures of MAF up, but he keeps his identity concealed. And a lot of graffiti artists do. It's actually it's very intriguing to me. But I guess that's the whole culture of being street graph. Like, Banksy never showed his face. He's always like a
Showed his
peekaboo.
face. He barely even showed that he existed.
But isn't
he
that
doesn't-
like even more challenging than being an out there artist who you want people to know who you are, you want people to buy your stuff? Sia was like, I know I can write good music. You don't need to see my face.
Yeah.
Let
Let the work
gives you,
speak
it
for
gives
you.
you your own life, and you can also be in your own gallery listening to what people have to say about your art because they don't know who the hell you are.
It's
Well,
a lack
your
of
art
ego.
becomes your
Powerful.
identity.
It's
Your
when
art
you
becomes
get
your
rid of the ego, and it's not like I'm out here for the praise and the glory. I'm out here to make amazing art.
But it's so
And
intriguing.
It is.
I could walk down the street and no one knows who I could be in Whole Foods purchasing an overpriced avocado, and nobody knows who
Or
I
does
am.
that
Yeah.
keep your art honest? Because you were that person when you started, and you wanted to stay that person, so it doesn't taint
Could be, yeah.
how you create. I don't know. I'm not creative, so
Or is it the toxic
Not that
fumes
way.
of spray paint?
It could very well be. Like, I don't know, but it's whatever the reason. It's very powerful to know that this tremendous artist doesn't want you to know who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, cool stuff.
Cool beans for sure.
Amazing.
Unbelievable.
We walked out with a gift and some purchases of our own. These guys will be doing some pop-ups throughout the summer, so we will post the dates on the website as well.
Because we will be in attendance.
Yes, we will
Absolutely.
definitely be in
I'm saving up my
attendance.
ducats to buy some of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
Ducats are on save mode specifically for like MAF art at this point. And he has 2 different lines too, which is kind of cool. Like 2 different, I shouldn't say lines, it's not fashion, but he has 2 different kind of vibes that he goes with. He has the MAF shop and the MAF art. So the art is a little more of the traditional art that you would expect, whereas the shop is a little less expensive, a little more of like, I feel like his own quirky, kind of interesting style.
Yeah, they're coming out with their clothing line.
Mm-hmm.
They're printing like a lot of this graph on bags, sweaters, jackets. It takes like a traditional Louis Vuitton wallet and puts a little peanut on it.
Totally.
And it totally changes it. And it's one of his best sellers. Like, very clever.
And it's funny when like an artist like Kanye will take a line of like Versace or Louis Vuitton or something and he will design stuff for them that everyone wants to run out and clamor to buy. You can't even get the shoes he designed for Nike. You have to be on a list. Kim Kardashian's on Instagram giving them out to people like Oprah. But this guy...
You get a shoe! You get a shoe!
Seriously, like it's so hard to get people like Instagramming her like, please, Mrs. Kanye, may I have a pair of your husband's shoes? And she's like, here, I'll bestow upon you a pair of the shoes. And he didn't even play basketball. But he took a really iconic cartoon figure, where all the Peanuts characters, and turned them into something subversive and interesting and edgy, and then threw it on a really expensive piece of vintage, like a piece of vintage clothing wear that people spend thousands of dollars on. You save that stuff for your children because it's going to be worth so much. And he's like, now I've made it an original. Like, I love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I love that it's not just kind of corporately driven. He's like, no, I'm doing this because I'm doing this.
Oh, man. He's breaking the lines. Just like, well, that's the essence of graph, I guess.
Isn't it, though? Like, you're breaking the rules.
Breaking the rules and everything. Taking a stupid expensive Gucci wallet or Louis Vuitton wallet and then just putting your own, like, signature, your, like, initials all over it. So it's pretty awesome.
I also like that the guy has pretty much wasted no time in the sense that he just came to Canada, like, less than 2 months ago. And has been just networking, painting, showing, selling, like all of this stuff.
While he learns English.
While he learns English, gets the lay of the land, like hot off the streets of Russia. That's got to take some balls.
Yeah. That's only the strong survive mentality. That's
and he's a young dude. He's under 30. And he's really just so focused and driven. It's almost like jumping out of a plane. Like, your parachute is there, but the guy he's definitely landing on his feet. And a lot of that, I think, is also due to people who recognize his talent, like Donovan, who are able to, like, make his... facilitate his work and create avenues for him to sell and to show and to all of these things. And it's also so grassroots, like having people in your home, which is also the space where the work is created, which is also like he's doing
you get the whole experience.
Much with, but he's also doing so much with so little. No, it's totally like MacGyver style of like let's just make this happen and not wait for big institutions
like,
or big galleries or whatever.
Farm to table, like when I know, with like farmers who are like, farm to table. You should know where this comes from. What's the art version of farm to table? Because that's what this is. Like you don't know that you just met. You've created a business relationship and a bit of a friendship here.
Yeah,
you're creating in this space. You're selling in this space. You are trusting this person. Like it's really remarkable. Like what Toronto and one, an eye for talent, and two, how this city works. That just takes a good person.
And also, how much trust there was from the get-go.
From the get-go.
Even with such a huge language barrier.
Yes.
Because the artist doesn't really speak English, and definitely Donovan does not speak Russian.
Yes.
And yet, they're able to communicate on this level of business and art and And really, that trust is quite remarkable.
And then to let us in the door, like we were in
Yes,
his,
the
were in his
whole
home.
experience.
The whole experience was amazing.
I was in your home looking at unbelievable
You
Yeah.
drive up to Tyndall Ave and you're like, where is this place?
Yeah, for those of you guys who don't really know Toronto, Parkdale, so I live in an area of the west side of Toronto that has been 150 billion % gentrified. And then if you go a block west
There's
of
a
where I
Starbucks in
am,
your bathroom.
there's a Starbucks inside of my bathroom. Like a barista gave me a latte as I washed the creases of my body. And so you go like one block west, and it's completely non-gentrified. It's still old school Toronto.
Hey, they have
We
a
drove
McDonald's.
up. Well, there's of course there's McDonald's.
It's in
There's a
Nebraska.
McDonald's in sub-Saharan
Vintage
Africa.
McDonald's.
Let's be real. We drove up. We were kind of just like, don't really know what this is. Wasn't really expecting this, but let's just trust the experience. And then he was like, yeah, I live in this apartment. This is what the gallery is. And we're like, okay, well, let's leave a note for all of our families just so they know where we are. We'll see how this ends. And then he came downstairs. He got us. We went up to the second floor of the building, and then he brought
And
us
mind you,
into...
the elevator was pretty funky too.
The elevator was...
The
Because it was
whole
like
building
old
had
school.
character.
It had charm.
It did.
Yeah.
The building had charm, but it was also really well appointed. Like, it was very
Exactly.
clean. It was
Oh,
very
yeah.
nice.
Sparkling
it was very,
floors.
Totally.
Yeah.
And so we went into his apartment, and it was just like, what
Whoa.
the fuck? Like, where are we?
Yes.
And so I feel like that added to the wow factor of the art itself, because if we walked into a gallery in the middle of Yorkville, it would have been like, oh, look,
Another
More
gallery.
art.
another gallery,
It'd have
more
been impressive.
art.
It would have been impressive. But
It's
this
still
made
Right.
impressive.
This
It
It
was
wouldn't have been
special.
as impressive.
This
And
makes it
just,
special.
Yeah.
Donovan just created this whole experience that
Yeah.
made the
Yeah.
art
Yes.
just like speak for itself. And like the experience made us like want to ask more, see more, learn more. Whereas if we were at a gallery, like in the middle of the city, we probably just would have walked past him and like, oh, that's nice, that's nice, that's nice. Whereas this made it like this whole experience, like you're in someone's home.
It's very urban
And
too.
So
It's
urban.
It
Which
also
goes
feels
with
like
the
everyone
art.
also credits New York for being this cool, super hip place, and it is. But Toronto's got its own heartbeat. We're a badass city.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone has to say.
Hashtag the six.
The 6 is like we are a badass city. You can get your medicinal marijuana on the street. You can go to some guy's apartment in the middle of Parkdale and see some original art from some Russian dude he met 6 weeks ago. Like, what other city in Canada can you do that in?
What other city in the
Like,
world
challenge-
can you do that
Challenge
in?
to the world. What other city can you say you did that in? And like, we're pretty clean and super polite. Like, where else you gonna
Oh,
go?
yeah, no,
And
And we got the
that was a
girls in the
gauntlet.
city.
That was the gauntlet thrown right there. Tell us what other city, folks. Tell
Tell us
us.
where you're at, where that's happening. I know that there are lots of hype cities around the world. I'm not trying to hate, but Toronto is a pretty special place. You don't just find that anywhere in Canada. Like that's
Yeah.
that's
And I
immigration,
love that
that's
it's so
artistry, that's
underground.
business, commerce, that's socialization. That's so much cool stuff.
And such industriousness and do it yourself.
Do it yourself. Thank you, internet.
Yes.
Thank you,
Instagram.
Instagram.
All of the internets
Thank
made
you,
that
internet.
happen.
Thank you, Instagram, for like you can share pictures of your face or your boobs or whatever online, or you can start your own business,
Yeah, you
meet
can
a business
actually do
partner,
something
and
for
get shit
real.
done.
Show your
Choice is
work.
yours.
Yeah.
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 Make connections.
Unless your
I
face and your boobs
actually-
are your business.
And then in that case, you're still working.
Exactly.
Kim Kardashian built an empire on her pretty face. Like, you're still at
On
work.
the selfie.
All day, every day. She's got a book out, it's just her face. Like, you
Got a
you
selfie book.
Yeah.
just have to do what you gotta do. But these guys really figured it out. And Donovan's one hell of a stylist. And way to transition
Oh my
your
goodness.
career. Like, way to transition and use your skill set. Like, the world of work is changing. You just created a whole new subset of work for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Definitely put eggs in more than one basket.
That's hype.
That's the spirit of entrepreneurial spirit, and I think that's also the kind of essence to success, because anytime you hear about somebody who's done really well in life, it's never off of one thing. And
Well,
so,
it also doesn't. I don't feel like it's much of a stretch for a stylist.
Exactly,
To start
transition to this.
being a curator, because he already has an eye for like what people want, what looks good, and for respect for people's work and talent when it comes to expressing itself. Well, formerly in clothes and now in art.
he went from styling people to styling places. If
Yeah.
you think about it,
Like, his
art
place
is
was
clothing
so
for
styled.
walls. So
Well, yeah, or just like carrying that expression through
Yeah, of course.
just basic design to the next level, which would be a painting or a sculpture.
And now you're wearing original art, like the sweater you bought.
Yes, that was super cute.
Of Charlie Brown's face, like that's painted on the sweater original, like that.
Original.
You can't get it. You can't replicate that. They're not printed. They're not just selling at the
A
store.
mess, yeah.
This is the only one that's gonna look just like that. That spot of pink paint at the bottom, that's not on any other version. Like that stuff is just pretty high.
And I love the signature on the back.
That's
I always love
high.
a nice signature on the back, or like a side print, something like not expected. But
can I revisit one thing that Stacey mentioned earlier when you kind of said that Donovan was getting, the artist was getting into almost like a clothing line style branding when you went with the MAF art versus the other line.
MAF Shop.
The MAF Shop. And I think that it kind of is like clothing lines. Like Michael Kors has two different lines. One that regular people can afford and one that Beyonce can afford.
Exactly.
And there is that difference where it's like you can tell what quality is and you want quality for the masses. I'm the masses. I don't have an unlimited budget to get whatever I want. I can't buy all the original art I want to buy. Thank you for making some of your beautiful art still original and affordable.
Absolutely.
Whereas for people who can drop $15,000 on a piece of original, beautiful art, knock yourself out because you have options. Like
I think it's more of the pop aspect of the art in the sense that he's got stickers. He's got little tiny versions of the art. He's got huge versions of the art. He's got the art on clothes. He's got the art on handbags. And that's sort of like, I know that Donovan mentioned a comparison with Warhol at one point, but that, I think, is where it's not the work that's reminiscent, it's the pop. It's the accessibility, and then you can also see it on the street for free.
Yes.
And there's that whole tie-in, so you might have his oat line where he maybe the work is the consideration, the time, I don't know what makes oat different from the pop, but maybe pop is just the sheer replication that you can find this image on this and also there, but it's definitely taking advantage of different methods of dissemination. For,
I think that's a good point.
Yeah.
I love the element of free.
Yeah.
And he's fusing art and fashion.
Heck yeah.
I mean, they're both coming from different professions. We got a Russian artist and we got a Toronto
Canadian,
stylist. And, they both came together, focused on the art, but MAF's doing so well, and now Donovan can put his twist and, they sort of combine forces when they started putting art on clothing.
And in my mind, fashion is art.
It is.
Exactly, it is.
It is. And I think that the art world, and fine art, whatever that means to you, is one thing. Art on canvas, art in whatever medium. But to me, that is a nice transition for both of them. Like it's a nice collaboration. I think that's why. I think maybe that's why it's been the 5 weeks and boom, they're off to the races, because Donovan's a seasoned professional. He knows what he's doing. He's worked with lots of celebrities. This is a man who knows his shit. And he found just another artist who was, one, selling clothes and stuff, so he knows how to market the hell out of that. And he was making beautiful things. Like he said, he moved his rolling rack out of the way to put up original art. Like it's just one group of beautiful things or another, but either way, you're surrounding yourself with beauty at all times. Like to just take a piece of that home is amazing.
And
absolutely.
Like what he said, he just, not only did he move his clothing rack to the side, but he moves his couch to the side to allow his artist to just let MAF do his thing.
Yeah.
Like, so organic. The space is really cool. Even when I was taking photographs of the artwork in front of the windows, the backdrop of the rest of Parkdale. And Parkdale
Totally.
not being like, considered to be the most picturesque part of the city, but gritty and urban, and it just
authentic.
But isn't that what gentrification is? Rich people always want to come to where like regular people made it hype.
Yeah.
That's all gentrification is. Like we were in the part of town that no one wanted.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you show up and you can buy us out of town. But our life, our interest, our art, our whatever it is, made this place the place to be.
Absolutely.
And even if it's geographic location.
You guys seen Bua's work? Who does like a lot of cityscapes. He's in New York, sort of graph artist. He did Boondocks. Actually, there was one piece that Stace loved.
I loved it, and it was so reminiscent of Huey and Dewey from the Boondocks. It was just, like, the reason I loved it is it was a picture, like, it was a It was someone's face. It was very racially ambiguous. It was very sexually ambiguous. And as opposed to eyes, it said no.
Oh.
And for some odd reason, it kind of spoke to me. I looked at it and I was like, man, I just really, really like it. And I can't put my finger on why, but I just really enjoyed it.
Isn't that art?
Check the website because we all took portraits. We all took portraits beside our favorite art, like our favorite pick. So Stace is definitely beside that one. And just when I was taking the photographs and I was looking at the buildings in the back, I actually was thinking of Bua because I'll show you guys later. I got so many like reference images I want to put up, but I only have one, shot to do this on one page. So, but yeah, just the hard cityscape in the background supporting that work is very, I guess it's like the foundation of what graph is.
What drew you to MAF in the first place? Like getting us there was a feat of strength in and of itself that we have not hailed her up for yet. Like Sasha nailed it.
Yeah,
that was unbelievable. Like these guys just met. This just started. How you even found them that they're doing this in the first place? Was like, how in the hell did you find this?
I don't know. I honestly went on Instagram and I started just searching galleries, and all this stuff came up. Really nice, clean-cut galleries, and I was looking at the work they were showing, and it's cool, but it didn't have, I don't know, it wasn't...
It didn't speak to you.
It didn't speak to me, although I'm not throwing any shade. It was really cool stuff. And sometimes stuff like installation, or sometimes the rooms were very small, even though this MAF gallery in an apartment was just one big room, the experience, it took time to go through, to go and see, because there was huge paintings on the wall to like small, all the way like to medium, small.
Well, it's also we had that
other
personal
paintings.
touch. Like the guy's right there.
Yeah, and he had,
and his bed is there, and his sink is there.
Yeah, he wove it into the fabric of the unit. But I think what caught my eye is subconsciously, I live on Portland, like I said before, and MAF's work is on Portland. So when I just started scrolling through and I saw these images that I recognized, I dug further. And that's it. That's all, really.
Which means
I was lucky.
No, it's not. I think it's beyond luck. Like, Toronto was part of your journey. Like, you live in the city, you're above the city. Like, the Six is kind of, if you're looking hard enough, you'll find it. Like, you literally are like, I walk by this Lucy art every day.
Yeah.
You see it all the time, and you're like, yeah, it's
every
so dope.
fucking
and
morning.
Then
And now you have a piece of your
Every
house.
morning.
And now you have a piece of it
Now I have some
on
in
your
my
short,
home.
on your sweater, in your house, but like you can walk by beauty a million times and not recognize what's right in front of you, and you'll look for it in expensive places all over the place, and the sickest shit is usually right in front of your face.
You know
if
what's
you just open
fucked
your
up,
eyes to
though?
see it. It's crazy.
When that Lucy painting went up, I remember sitting back and I was like, because they put stuff on that wall and then it gets taken down and they rotate the images on it. So I know whatever images they put on, they're good. I don't know if MAF did any of the ones previous, but somebody's allowing them to do work there. So when I saw it, I don't know. I knew something. I felt like they were talking. That art was also talking to the one, because if anybody knows Toronto, Portland runs one way. It's intersected by another street. On the other side of that street, which is King Street on Portland, there's more graph on the building, and they all had a similar.
It's like they're all speaking to each other. Like there's a common thread.
I had no idea what the story is.
Or like those artists,
the guy who did
the Monopoly ones?
The Monopoly one.
Like those artists clearly
Oh, we're going to have to put that on Instagram. I completely forget what his name was.
Well,
but
those guys,
MAF and
they
the
know each
Monopoly
other.
dude
They know
are
each other.
buddies.
Yeah, like, and now
they're
we
actually
know that.
graphing together, and
Yes.
they have a piece on one wall together.
I want to
How
know what
fucking
time
cool
of day
is
they
that?
do that. Like, you can't be doing that when people are watching.
It has to be like 3
You're doing
o'clock
that
in the
middle of the
morning.
night with
No, it
One
is,
night,
because
like, that
I
is
remember
awesome.
walking by. One day it wasn't there. The next day I walked to work and
There
it was
it was,
there.
yeah.
So something happened overnight.
Like, this city is almost like, it's such an enigma. Like, I just love that. Like, that's the way the city rolls. You'll walk by a place 100 times, the next thing you're like, when did that gorgeous piece of art get here?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or when did that building get built?
When did that building, when did the parking lot turn into a condo?
Exactly. Oh my god, hashtag condo problems in Toronto.
Cannot find parking in the city. Like, there's like 2 lots left in the city, and it feels like a game of, what's that game you play when you run around in the circle trying to get a chair?
Musical chairs.
That's what it feels like to get a parking space
Anytime
in
somebody
the city.
says game of, I'm like, Thrones?
Thrones?
Yes, exactly.
That's the only game I know. Season, 7?
Not
Coming
Thrones,
out to
just
a
chairs, which is a
television
game of
near you.
chairs.
Musical chairs. And overall, like, just a great way to spot great art located in the city, get us in there, and just have a really unique experience. Like, who knows how long they'll continue on this relationship. Both of these individuals travel internationally. They're super
from
engaged.
different parts of the world.
Different parts of the world. Like,
They
this
come
person
together.
chose Toronto. He could have chosen any city. He chose
That's
us.
another thing, yeah.
He chose to come here. No offense.
Well, he
rest
came
of
as
the
a
world.
photographer. He came as a photographer, and he wasn't satisfied with that line of work, and so he just brought his art into the visual art
And
sphere.
I think he also felt like this was a place where maybe he'd be appreciated, accepted. You may have found, despite language barriers, you may have found kindred spirits. And then all of a sudden, you've already done a collaboration with another artist in this city, and you're not even from here. You're graphing on our walls, and you're not even from
Honestly.
here. That's how much we like people coming to Toronto. Like, it's just hype. You could have gone anywhere. Why here? Why not here? But
The relationship's cool now because now next time I go by something that has the Monopoly guy or somebody from
or
Charlie
something
Brown,
off, yeah.
I'm gonna know the story, and it's cool.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people walk by this stuff and they think, oh, this is really cool artwork, but there is actually a story going on here. There are relationships,
Yes.
and these are people coming from
Journeys.
other parts of the world. So, and this is happening like 2 blocks away from Toronto's, famous graffiti alley, where basically the city allows you to just graph.
Yeah.
It's an alley that runs, I don't know, like
Right
5
behind Queen
blocks,
Street, yeah.
like through the city, and you see everybody's talent there. That's some really cool shit out here.
There's some really cool stuff all over the city, and this experience has taught me to, really keep your eyes open.
Ear to the ground, man. Ear to the ground. That's the thing that this taught me, because I never thought that I'd walk into someone's Parkdale apartment
Dude!
and find the most gorgeous, amazing gallery I'd ever been to, and just identify so much with the art.
There was, a gallery that, he's a dentist, Kenneth Montague, had a gallery called Wedge. And years ago, now Wedge does pop-ups in different actual galleries, but it started off in the guy's house.
Yeah.
And he had just a long hallway filled with art, and would have people come through, and now he's become quite the Canadian curator, and really has put together some incredible bodies of work. But this reminds me of so he doesn't do that anymore. Now he shows in galleries, and here it is again in another youthful artist. And curators starting out, and
where will they be 10 years from now?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's true. But I think that MAF, I don't know. I don't think he'd ever show in a traditional. I don't think he would
know.
ever want to.
I don't think he's that guy.
And maybe graph
This is
artists
it.
just don't take that path. Their path is a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's not where their artwork's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But what Stace said about ear to the ground, Toronto culture is guilty of the fact that we always look up to artists in New York. We look up to artists in
Oh, you know that joke?
London, England.
How many Torontonians does it take to change a light bulb?
When
No, I've never heard that.
I've never heard that joke in my life, Alexa.
Where's the end of that? How does that end?
so
I don't know. You go to New York and find out how many it takes over there.
Yes.
Bum, bum,
You know,
ba-dum.
traveling far and wide, I don't think, as Canadians, as Torontonians, we give ourselves enough credit. I don't know if it's a cultural thing or whatever. We're so modest about how awesome where we're from can be. We have our problems, we have our issues, but the more I travel far and wide, and we've all been to some pretty cool places, but most recently Turks and Caicos, some of us been to Bali, hard life, real champagne problems here, but the more you travel far and wide, the more you start to appreciate where you're from.
exactly.
Like, being
And we
away
should
makes me
appreciate these
appreciate
people
here.
because these people, they're, decorating our city, and we should start recognizing them as celebrities almost. I mean, Think about the life.
In their own right.
In their own right.
How
They
did
don't
New York
wanna-
get cool? New York got cool by paying attention to who was
Exactly,
in New York and letting
who's
them
in
live
it.
their lives and express themselves.
And we have to elevate those people. Like, we shouldn't always be looking outwards to
Yes.
see who's doing the best stuff when we got some really, really good things happening here in the city.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Yes, and like who is Trey Anthony, that lovely playwright who wrote "To Kink in My Hair," left the city to go, pursue her art. Of course, south of the border, doing really great. But when she has a great show, she brings it back home. Like
Every time.
Like Donovan travels the world doing his fashion work. Like he's all over the place, Barcelona, here, there, everywhere. But what does he always come back to? You come home to roost, and then you bring all that cool international experience, and you just hit the ground running and explode in this city.
Yeah.
And then you're gone again to get more experiences. You come back and you give us something else that's just gold. So it's paying attention to those things too, and not overlooking them when they do show up.
Or taking them for granted.
Or taking them for granted.
Yeah. So if you guys are ever in the King West area, Portland and King Street, you'll see by Gusto, you'll see a couple cool MAF SHOP stuff. And also Everly, the nightclub. Go check that out because I think they just gave him
wall,
some
yeah.
walls
They just
to do
gave
his
him
thing.
space to do his thing.
So go party it up at the Everly and, raise a glass to MAF SHOP there.
Amazing. So, yeah, March's pick was amazing. April's pick, we're going to be reading a book, which is awesome. Let's expand those brains
book.
real quick. So,
we
definitely stay tuned for what's going down with Club of Culture in April. And we look forward to letting you know what's up. So remember, follow us on Instagram, please. Follow.
Club
Check us out on
of
Twitter.
Culture.
Check us out on Facebook. Sasha, hit him with the handles. Instagram,
Club of Culture.
Twitter,
Club of Culture.
Facebook.
Club of Culture.
Get him.
What is it?
Club of Culture. Hashtag COC or hashtag COC approved or hashtag Ladies of Culture.
Amazing. So it's been real, guys.
Thank you. All right. See you next month.
Ta-ta. Okay, that was great.